I can tell you exactly how it started. Ed Sullivan came up to me and said, sometime I would like to broadcast for 24 hours. Just Sally and I would be on the radio for 24 hours and we'd broadcast music and just have fun, just have the Blondie party for all day and all night. And I thought about it and I thought, boy, we could probably raise some money. And of course I thought of CMN right away. So I contacted David Amborn, and I don't think I finished getting the words out of my mouth. And he said, yes, absolutely. It's something that we want to do. So we sat down at the conference room table, and at that time, Ed needed to be introduced to CMN hospitals. We talked about it. Ed said, wow, what a great program. And they put their stamp on it, and we started trying to raise money, just a couple of thousand the first few years, and it was, we went all night broadcasting from the studio. And then Dean Morton came to us from, at the time, I think it was Teleprompter Cable TV, it's Charter now, and Dean had the great idea of putting it on the cable system as well. We did that and brought in other cable systems, and that just grew and grew. Right about the same time, David Amborn asked us if we would begin a radiothon for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And we said, yes, we want to be local. It may be easier to do it the other way. And boy, they sure are going to give us a lot of goodies for doing it. But that's not what this is about. This is about the kids and the families. And that's why we stayed local. When you talk from your heart. And sometimes that's hard for our air personalities to do. And they've learned that now. They've learned that it's okay to get totally involved. And if there's some tears, that's okay.
It brings your emotions right to the surface.
Yes.
And you're sharing them with everybody. So what comes out, and you can't bring it back in again. And for the most part, it's still a wonderful thing to be able to share what comes from your heart.
It's not just doing something and saying, hey, we're involved. You really need to believe that you give back. And our team believes that, and we do that.
Jean Getz-Bassett was the lead control at that point of the station, and she ran a tight ship. But she always told us, and we were teenagers at the time, it really was, and she always said to us, you better give back to the community that gives to you. And I think it's just black and white, and it's simple, and it's the way we do it.
Thank goodness we never needed them more than a coloring book one time when Amy was in the hospital for just a quick stay and Nate was coloring in a coloring book, and I looked in the back of it and it said provided by CMN. That's all, thank goodness that's all the help that we've needed. But that's why we really want to help, because we've been so blessed, and the more we're blessed, the more that we want to help others be blessed too. For me personally, I would like it to be remembered as supporting families, because family is important to me, and Joanie too. And we were lucky because we worked being in radio all the time, but we could take Nate and Amy with us on many, many things, and I think the involvement with Children's Miracle Network has, in a lot of ways, led to their careers. Nate served 2 terms in Iraq, served the country that way. Now he's a deputy sheriff in Houston County, and Amy is with Tri-State Ambulance and also a paid on-call firefighter with Alaska. That's what we want to leave. Our next generation will be there, supporting family. I love to watch Nate, how proud he is with Jackson as a dad, and the support that, how well their family is growing together. I just want to leave that we really believed in family.
You never know how you could love another human being more than you could love a grandchild or your own child. And in my point is, it's very similar to Children's Miracle Network. I don't think that you could really have any more positive feelings or more ambition towards another effort than what we do.
Just stop and think about if you have a family and how difficult it is when one of your children has a cold and has to stay home a couple of days, or maybe has to go into the clinic. It can be a big challenge. Think if that is ongoing and with no end in sight. And that's where CMN hospitals can step in and maybe help with transportation or a lunch to help out. Or even on the bigger side, maybe there's a piece of equipment that would make things much easier at their home. And we can provide that. So there are a lot of things that CMN does that do make a difference. And boy, we're going to have a lot of fun. And a lot of the events that we do for Children's Miracle Network hospitals are just fun.
We are going to turn things upside down tonight. And you know what's ahead of you. And if it wasn't for your generosity, we wouldn't be able to offer as many options to these families that really need it. So it's everybody in the room that's doing this.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm thinking of a lot of people that, you know, we've lived here all of our lives basically. And, you know, I'm thinking of the Barneys and, you know, what they do for Gunderson Lutheran. I'm thinking of Edie Nutter and what she does. And the list does go on, and what Ed and Sal do. These are people in our community, and we bump elbows with them all the time. And it is so important that they do what they do. And I think that's a great example to follow. It's really hard when you're looking at a big picture. When you're looking at, you know, what are we going to do next spring? Okay, now that's something that, you know, you're able to visualize, and you just hope it just keeps going. We'd love things to double. Look what it's done in 30 years. You know, who knows what it's going to do in 30 more. But I just would like to see a positive. I would just like to see it continue to grow and to continue support.
Remember why we're here. Remember that there's a family someplace that's facing a challenge because the baby is up in the NICU and it's just, they're torn apart by it. Can mom and dad be there? Who stays home with the other children? They're facing that challenge right now while we're here having fun. And just remember that that's why we're here, and you know, make the bid just a little bit higher too. I just want to say thank you. This is a huge honor to us. It never occurred to me when we were sitting around the table brainstorming that we would be the ones honored in this way. We started out with a totally different idea. Mike Hill with Charter in Eau Claire, but also serving the La Crosse area for Charter, came up with the auction of the desserts idea, and we came up with the idea of having you know, this ball and somebody would be honored. And I truthfully, when we put it together, it never occurred to me that we would be the ones that would be honored. So it means a lot to be honored in this way. Ed and Sal, you taught us how to be better people in making friends and keeping friends and working with those friends for a good cause. And I'm honored to be following in your footsteps and the footsteps of the other recipients of this. Just thank you so much.
When this was brought to us, the honor, Pat wasn't able to go to the luncheon, and I went, and Sally was there, and Dave Amborn was there, and Mandy was there, and a couple other people were there, and I thought at the luncheon that the topic was going to be, listen, Joanie, we've just about had it with you and your auction skills, and we're going to change things up and do something different. And I would have been okay with that, and I really thought that is why we were there at the luncheon. Little did I know that we were going to be honored in this way, and we appreciate that so much. So apparently I'm going to be doing another auction. I thought that you guys were scrapping the program, but I guess not. So we'll move ahead, and we thank you so much for the honor. There's so many other people, you know, you can just name them that would be equally as deserving with this honor, and we'll do our best tonight.